Let's transform your fabric scraps into a charming quilted patchwork pillow in no time. Hi everyone, welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to make a quick and easy pillow cover. It's going to be quilted using potato chip blocks. No, not the kind out of the bag. These chips will be 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches. This pillow only takes one quilt panel and your scrap fabric, making it a fantastic way to repurpose leftover scrap fabric. A while back, I had a comment from one of our lovely viewers that said, "Hi, I love this. Please do share more patchwork pillows." So I had it on my list. I thought this would be a great way to use up some of those scrap fabric pieces that we have. Thank you so much for your comment. We are going to create another pillow that I think you're going to love. It's so easy to make. In a previous video, I showed you my scrappy potato chip block. It was in a video that had 4 other blocks. This block has 18 blocks, but it's just as easy as the last one. I am providing you with a free PDF download. I'll leave a link in the description box below so that you can make your own 12-inch potato chip blocks. This pillow cover will be perfect in any area of your home. You can make it any size you want. It's very adaptable. I'll walk you through the steps. Today we're making a 12-inch pillow. This block makes about a 12.5-inch block, and we'll trim it down to 12 inches. We'll need 2 of these, which will get us 24 inches. And then we need 5 more inches. So we'll need 3-inch strips for the edge. But I'll show you all of that in the video. The potato chip block, it's sometimes called the can't stop at one block. It earned its name from the popular snack because quilters often found themselves making multiple blocks because of its simplicity and addictive nature. It originated as a way to use up those fabric scraps. It has become a beloved choice among quilters for quick projects. Make lots of these. You'll find uses for them, even a large quilt, using one of my quilt joining methods in my previous videos. The materials you'll need for this project: scrap fabric. Today we're using 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch blocks or chips. The pattern, if you'd like to use it. To make the pillow, if you want to use batting, you could go ahead and get that. Today I'm just using a lightweight, fusible interfacing. I'm going to try to use up some scraps because I have these miscellaneous pieces. A 12 by 12 inch pillow insert. This one is cut from an old pillow. If we have old pillows, I tend to hold on to those. I'll wash them and then put them away for these projects. But this one I cut to 12 by 12. And it looks a little wonky, but it's going to work just fine. You'll need a backing fabric. I just have some muslin because you won't see it. And it's cut, this one is cut to 29 inches by 12 inches. You'll need your sewing machine and some thread, rotary cutter, scissors, ruler, just your standard sewing notions. I'm going to bring you down to the table and we'll get started. The first thing we need is a quilt top measuring 29 inches by 12 inches. So we need to make another one of these potato chip blocks. And all you'll need are your scrap fabric pieces, and you'll just follow the diagram in this PDF And we're going to lay these out. And I did number them for you. So we need 1 and 2. Those go in the center. And those are right here. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I have my 1/4 inch foot on my sewing machine. I'm just going to sew these together, 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then just finger press. Or you can use your roller. That's 1 and 2. Now we need to add 3 and 4. So I'm just going to grab out of my basket here. I just put a bunch in here. 1 on this side, 1 on this side. Quarter inch seam allowance on both sides. There we go. Just flip that open. Finger press. And you'll notice I'm not straight here. It's probably me not being able to measure correctly most of the time, but if you want, you can go ahead and trim that up. And I'm just lining up on that seam. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need 5 and 6. We're just going to grab 2 pieces. Here is 5 and 6. And while you're at it, you could go ahead and sew together 7, 8, 9 and 10, and 11 and 12. So we're going to do 4 of these. I already used that. Let's see if we can find something else. This, and this. So we'll sew this one to this one to this one to this. I'll be right back. Just press those open. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll put 2 of those aside. Let's bring back the block that we've been working on. We want 1 to go here and 1 to go here. So we're just going to put this one here. This one here. 1/4 inch seam allowance. Open these up. Just give it a finger press. See how fast it comes together? Now we are ready for 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. You guessed it, 1/4 inch seam allowance, both sides. All right, we added 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 on this side. Just finger press that. We need to add 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom. And we are done with this block. See how easy it is? There's that one, 1, 2, and 3. What we're going to do is sew 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here, here, and here. Here is this one, and 1 for the top, and you guessed it, flip those over, 1/4 inch seam allowance on each side. We'll flip this up, give it a quick figure press. And can you believe it? It is done. This quilt block is done. All that's left to do is to press it with an iron. I absolutely love the scrappy look of the potato chip block. And there's that one. What do you think? All right, let's get my square block and see if we can get this to 12 inches. We'll see how far we're off, because you know I'm always off. That's 12 and 12. Okay. Yeah, we're a little off right there. Let's go for it. Okay, turn it around. This should get us our 12. Right there. 12. And if I put it in the white square on my table, we're looking pretty close. Is that 12? There's 12. Maybe a little at the top. And now we have our second panel for the pillow. So I found this jean-like fabric in my stash. And I'm just giving it a quick press. I'm going to make 2 strips that are 3 inches by 12 inches. So 2 strips, 3 by 12. And when I have those cut, I will be right back. Here are the end panels, and I'll show you where I'm going to put those. These are 3 inches by 12 inches. Now, if you wanted to make a different size, let's say you wanted to make a 14-inch square pillow, you would take your pillow insert size, and if it was 14, multiply that by 2, and you have 28 plus 5, and that would give you 33. So you would need a quilt panel that would be 33 by 14. So you're going to have some borders if you made 12-inch panels. But customize it how you'd like, but that's how simple it is. Pillow insert size times 2 and add 5 inches to get what your quilt panel size will be and your backing fabric will be. The first thing I want to do is add this to this side, 1/4-inch seam allowance. There's one side done. And again, the reason I needed to add this is because I had 12 plus 12 is 24. I needed the extra border to get to my 29. All right, let's go ahead and add this to this side. We'll flip that up. Next, I want to sew these 2 together. So I'll flip this like this. Quarter-inch seam allowance, and that is together. And this will be our pillow. This will be the center of the pillow. How fun is that? Next, I just need to add some interfacing. You can add it to your quilt top or to your backing fabric, and I'll just be adding it to the backing fabric. And like I said, I'm just going to use up some pieces of it, and then I can trim off as well. And you want to make sure that you can feel the rough side, and we'll just put that there. I'm just going to use up some of those that I've had from other projects. And this is the Pellon P44F, I believe. Yes. And we'll put that right there. Got one layer of the fusible interfacing on my back. Let me give this one more press. I think I laid the iron on there too long. And it's fine only because the inside won't be seen. There we go. I think that's much better. The next step is to lay this on the top so we have wrong sides together. And for this, you may want to pin. We're just going to do a little bit of quilting to give it that quilted look, and just line it up the best you can. You could also clip if you wanted. I'm just going to grab a couple pins here and put one at the bottom. Over here on the side, on this side, I'll quilt down the center and around a block, I'll quilt down the line on the border. And I think that will be enough for the quilting. I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back from quilting, and I just did a little quilting. And here's what the back looks like. Next, what we need to do, we are going to flip this over. We're on the back, and we are going to fold this over a 1/2 inch and then a 1/2 inch and sew along the edge. And this is on the short end. So we'll go ahead and give that a press real quick. And if you need to check your measurement, go ahead and do that at this time. That's about a 1/2 inch. This will be a good time for your clips. And then we'll fold at the other end and the other end. Now we need to fold one more time. Grab this clip, this one, and on the end. And while your clips are there, go ahead and pull a clip. And press that. Clip that. Clip that one, grab this one off and press that. Flip it around and we'll do the other side. We'll make sure that's a 1/2 inch on the border. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to go one more time. And this is why I say I'm not sure you would want to use batting, because these folds do get kind of thick. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove that. Just give that a press on the end. Now for this one, it's not a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's probably more around 1/8. We want to catch that edge and sew that down. Our final step is to create our pillow. So we know that the center of our pillow is here because that's where we joined our 2 blocks, right here. So you're going to take the size of your pillow insert. Ours is 12 inches. Divide that by 2, and that gives us 6, and you're going to minus 1/2 inch. So then you're going to take your ruler, and at 5.5 inches from the center is where you'll fold this over. So your fold will be 5.5 inches from the center. Same way on the other side. We're looking for that. Oops. Yep, that's right. We're looking for this center, and we want 5.5 inches here. So we're going to put our fold on that. Just like that. And here is the easy part. We are going to take this to the sewing machine. You can use your walking foot if you want. I think I'm going to try my regular foot. And we may need to trim a little here because you can see how wonky it is. But we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance and then a zigzag stitch, or you could serge that edge. I think I'll serge since I have my serger set up. But 1/2 inch seam allowance each side, serge it, and I'll be right back. If you wanted, you could pin this in place so that it doesn't shift on you. Just like that. And I did trim this edge because you guys know I can't measure. All right, I'm off to the sewing machine. Back from the sewing machine, here is my 1/2 inch seam allowance, and here's where I serged it. But remember, you could just as easily do a zigzag across there if you don't have a serger. Should we turn it inside out? And you might need to grab your pokey tool, poke out those corners. There it is, our potato chip pillow. It's ready for a pillow insert, so we'll see how I measured, right? Here is our wonky insert. So we're going to have to squeeze that in there. Get the corners into the corners of the pillow cover. Here's the back. And here is the front. I love it. What do you think? A very easy patchwork pillow. Enjoy your new quilted potato chip pillow. And remember, the possibilities are endless because you can do this with any quilt panel. So take your favorite quilt block. My friend Carol gave me a bag and it had this quilt block in it. So it was already pieced together, and I made a pillow with that. And here's the back. These are just so easy to make. If you have any questions on the math, just pop the question in the comments. I'll try my best to get back to you. So let me know what you think. Don't forget to grab your pattern. And I do have instructions. I do have instructions with the pattern for you. Before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a Bible verse and a final thought to encourage you. The Bible verse is, "And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful." From Colossians 3:15. Just as each scrap of fabric contributes to this uniquely beautiful pillow, each moment in our lives, joyful or challenging, shapes the beauty of our story. Remember to find peace in God's loving presence, being thankful for the blessings woven into your everyday life. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, sharing. It truly means the world to me. Thank you so much. And until the next video, God bless you.